Is Kanye West really trapped in the biggest personal and professional whirlwind of his life? Or has he orchestrated it all for the world to see? One moment, he's head over heels for a woman who appears to worship the ground he walks on. The next, rumors swirl that this same woman has turned the tables, angling for a massive payday in a looming divorce. And right when you think the drama has peaked, Kim Kardashian steps into the fray, dropping her own hints about potential manipulation and deep-seated ulterior motives. In a saga this twisted, it's hard to know who's genuinely being used and who's been calling the shots since day one. But buckle up, because we're about to dive into a web of secrets, allegations, controversies, and blindsiding revelations that might just redefine what you think you know about Kanye, Bianca, and Kim. Not too long ago, social media went haywire when word got out that Kanye West had quietly married a seemingly unassuming architect named Bianca, with hardly any fanfare. It was startling enough that Kanye stepped into a new marriage so quickly after his split from Kim Kardashian. But even more intriguing was how hush-hush the whole affair was. There were no grandiose announcements, no glossy magazine spreads, and most alarmingly, no official prenup. This decision immediately sent fans speculating. Could Kanye really have skipped the most basic financial safeguard? Or did he genuinely trust Bianca so deeply that he was willing to risk his fortune for her? In the early days, the narrative was straightforward. Maybe Kanye was simply consumed by passion for a partner who supported his creative visions. Friends and insiders whispered that Bianca possessed not only architectural expertise, but a unique ability to captivate Kanye with her enthusiastic willingness to experiment in fashion, design, and beyond. She seemed to share his sense of extremes, from boundary-pushing art to provocative ideas. For a brief moment, fans who had been rooting for Kanye's emotional stability thought he had found his perfect muse, a person who would balance out his less predictable tendencies. But the honeymoon period didn't last. Glaring red flags started popping up almost immediately, from the odd way the pair interacted in public to the rumor that Bianca might have been in Kanye's orbit long before anyone realized. A few people even speculated that she had been carrying on a secret involvement with him back when he was still legally tied to Kim. The swirling rumors proved difficult to confirm at first, and for a while that gave Bianca the benefit of the doubt. It was easier to believe that maybe Kanye had just rushed into something new without typical caution. Then came the real bombshell. The news that Bianca was prepared to file for divorce and initially wanted a relatively modest sum, $5 million, which Kanye reportedly agreed to pay. That figure alone would have caused controversy given how short their marriage was. But soon enough, the world learned it was just the tip of the iceberg. With no prenup in place, Bianca could potentially claim far more. In a complete turn of events, she seemed ready to demand an enormous settlement. This development left everyone asking, had Bianca orchestrated this all along? Or was she fed up and looking for a clean break from a life of chaos? Before viewers and fans could catch their breath over the divorce rumors, new allegations crashed onto the scene. Ex-Yeezy employees came forward with disturbing tales about Bianca's conduct at the brand's offices. According to these accounts, Bianca had a habit of sending explicit photos of herself to coworkers and then grilling them about their personal views regarding Adolf Hitler. The employees claimed she was relentless in her questioning, as if she wanted to expose who might share some of Kanye's more provocative stances, or possibly to curry favor by showing she was all in on the same edgy topics he had toyed with. On the surface, these accusations sound almost too bizarre to be true. Who would risk their professional reputation by spamming coworkers with explicit content and following it up with questions about Hitler? Yet, for those who'd worked under Kanye's tumultuous leadership, it wasn't entirely unthinkable. Yeezy had always been a place known for its unconventional environment. Some employees loved the creative freedom, while others felt it strayed uncomfortably close to chaos. Naturally, a question arose. Was Bianca already under Kanye's influence, or was she the driving force behind her own shocking behavior? Could it be that she was a kindred spirit, genuinely fascinated by controversy and looking to push the boundaries just like Kanye did? Or, perhaps, she recognized how to get noticed in a space where extremes were often celebrated. If she wanted to catch Kanye's eye, that would have been a surefire way to do it. Instead of seeing her as a naive, controlled participant, Some began to wonder if Bianca was the one strategizing from the start, testing how far she could go with the staff, using shock value to cement her place in Kanye's orbit. Regardless of which version you believe, the swirl of allegations placed a spotlight on Bianca's character. She no longer appeared to be the soft-spoken architect unwittingly dragged into Kanye's life. Instead, she emerged as someone who might have courted infamy and attention long before marriage was even on the table. Meanwhile, the outlandish claims only fueled speculation that Bianca had always had a taste for boundary-pushing statements, making her an ideal match or manipulator for Kanye's sometimes outlandish visions. Not long after that public spectacle, word of a divorce filing leaked. Suddenly, the Grammys' appearance looked less like a spontaneous artistic expression and more like a final straw or a carefully orchestrated flourish. If Bianca wanted to demonstrate to the world that her marriage was pushing her beyond reason, or if she wanted sympathetic eyes on her, that was the perfect event to do it. Critics claimed it was all part of a bigger plan: draw maximum attention, claim emotional distress, then strike while the iron was hot and the cameras were still pointed her way. Kanye, for his part, appeared to be spinning out of control around the same time. He hopped onto social media defending Diddy and raving about historically sensitive topics like slavery. The meltdown was significant enough that platforms like Shopify cut ties with Yeezy, removing its online store. Whether this meltdown was genuine or another Kanye performance art moment, the timing couldn't have been worse. It gave Bianca the perfect opening to assert that she simply couldn't align herself with the chaos any longer. Out of nowhere, Kim Kardashian re-entered the narrative, carrying her own opinions about the Bianca-Kanye marriage and its messy unraveling. Initially, Kim was rumored to have real pity for Bianca. She pointed to the barely there outfits and unsettling public episodes as signs that Bianca was possibly being molded against her will, just as Kim had felt in her own relationship with Kanye. Kim's friends said she was worried for Bianca's well-being, going so far as to claim Bianca didn't understand what she was in for. But Kim's perspective flipped when news emerged that Bianca had been tied to Kanye far earlier than anyone guessed, possibly in the form of an affair. That shift threw a new light on the entire situation. Reports surfaced that Kim had known about Bianca's fling with Kanye while they were still legally married, prompting her to demand Bianca be fired from Yeezy. When Kim's own marriage ended, Kanye wasted no time scooping Bianca back into his orbit, apparently continuing a relationship that might have started illicitly. All of this new context seemed to sour Kim's sympathy. She started hinting that Bianca was using Kanye financially and emotionally, and that she might be setting him up for a humiliating, expensive downfall. Interestingly, Kim was also quick to stress her worries about Kanye's mental health, painting a picture in which everyone is too entertained by his public rants to truly help him. Yet, skeptics question her motives. Is Kim genuinely concerned, or is she leveraging her platform to paint Bianca in a negative light and hold on to the moral high ground? Her most recent stance indicated that she wasn't so sure Bianca was a victim at all. She suspected Bianca might have orchestrated the entire meltdown and subsequent divorce filing to secure a bigger payday. Kim was concerned enough to speak publicly about Kanye once again, even though she'd tried distancing herself from his controversies in the past. At this stage, it's hard to know if Kim is primarily motivated by love for Kanye, fear for her children's inheritance, or a desire to see Bianca fail. The only certainty is that Kim's voice in the situation adds an extra layer of complexity to an already tangled web. So here we are at the crossroads of a story that feels like a collision between celebrity theater and an uncomfortably raw private crisis. Kanye West, once revered for his musical genius and relentless creativity, stands on precarious ground once again. Only this time, he may have met a match in Bianca. Or perhaps she's just another name in a long list of individuals burned by his larger-than-life persona. From swirling allegations of prior affairs and morally outrageous stunts to an absence of a prenup that could cost him dearly. The entire drama exposes the blurred lines between real love, hidden motives, and sheer spectacle.